Hi, folks. Today I want to talk to you about our AA arm front end. I often get the question of why we don't make a left and right arm. Well, for one, the economics of it, it's more expensive to make two molds than one, since the parts are so small and tolerances are so tight. It's also never going to be identical because they're making a different cavity. And if it's off by a half a tenth of a mil, it's going to fit differently. So if the KISS front end had not taken a turn and being so popular, on a personal note, I still prefer the AA arm, but I know a lot of people like the KISS. If that wasn't the case, then we definitely roll into making left and rights, but we're kind of on a wait and see how this thing develops. But I want to show you guys how easy it is to set up the front end with just what comes in the box. Obviously, the main tool you're going to need is an X-Acto knife, and it has to be a very sharp blade, preferably if it's new, so that you can cut clean your regular, 1.5, 0.9, and 1.3 tool that we use for everything. Have some optional drill bits in the event that you don't want to modify with the X-Acto knife. We can use some drill bits. So I want to show you guys, this is one side I've already assembled, and I want to show you guys how free the front end will fall by its own weight. And I really didn't do anything special. I'm going to walk you through, guys, with the installation. The first thing that we're going to start with is, we discussed the socket, right? Since we do have a bigger opening on this side than on this side, on one side, the neck of the Delrin ball can move freely upon this hole. But on the other side, when this side is facing the neck, or in this case, this is the lower right side, right? The neck is going to be sticking on top of here. This edge prevents the articulation of that ball from moving side to side, and it prevents the ball from dropping all the way in and looking like it's centered. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a sharp X-Acto knife, and we're going to trim out the hole just a little bit, like going around it a couple of times. And bear with me, I'm trying to do this from kind of a further distance than I would usually do it. Now let's clean out the flashing a little bit better. Again, if you're not comfortable doing this, you can always use 3.45 millimeter drill bit, drill it through. It usually does the trick. Go on Amazon, they're a couple of bucks each. It's a good tool to have. I collect drill bits in different sizes just because I like fitting stuff and getting it precise fit. So once we have the hole opening and it looks about the same as the other side, I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. I'm going to go in there with the pivot ball, and I'll pop it in. And I'm going to try to move it around, see if I got a little bit nice move. Yeah, I got some nice up and down, and I got articulation going all around. Now I can assemble this. I always like over tightening a little bit also. Doesn't mean like cranking it down, but maybe going past like an eighth of a turn and then backing up. I feel like that frees up the arm even more. Look at that. Okay, so now we'll keep assembling. We'll do the upper arm. This one's a little bit trickier because we got to do the caster shim, but that's why I went ahead and pre-assembled one side. Work it all the way in. Pull it back out. The pin to push it through. We have it in there. We line up for the set screw. Now on this side, since the big opening is facing the bottom, I don't really need to do the same thing to the socket. I can just pop it back in. We got the upper set, the lower set. So we're gonna grab our 1.3 and 8mm long countersink. We're gonna push it through the bottom. Oh. I'm gonna put 1mm worth of washers. I don't have any ones, so I'm using 2 halves. Oh boy, I am fumbling this. And now we'll do the top. This is where I would do the Loctite. Obviously you want to have, since these parts do rotate, you want to have some Loctite so that it doesn't back off. We recommend to always clean your screws also with maybe some alcohol or some sort of solvent, like denatured, quick drying electric parts cleaner, because there's always some oil left in the screws, and that's what allows them to come loose. So we are done right here. You can look at the vertical load and the vertical movement on there, and it's not very much. And this is falling on its own weight, and it's pretty dang free. Obviously, we still have to fit the little tightening screws right there. And you can always tighten this if you want to make it tighter. You just tighten it to the point where it starts to bind, and then back it off a little bit. That's probably the right adjustment spot. You see right there, it's just got a little bit of a, I thought it was tight, but it doesn't look like it is. And there we go. That's done.